Hello, everybody. Welcome to your very favorite Bronze Age comic book podcast, Flea Market Fantasy. I'm your co-host, Mike L., and as always, I'm joined by...
Michael Dell of the LCS Hockey Radio Show.
Woo, that's right. And this week it's my pick, and that's why we're picking one of the world's greatest superheroes, The Flash. Finally.
Well,
you're excited.
Well, tell the kids what the book is, though, Michael.
Well, that's a good question. Depending on where you look on the book, you get two different titles here. So this is Flash Spectacular, 1978, but it's also called DC Special Series Volume 2, number 11.
Yes.
Yeah.
DC
so someone in the marketing
Series.
Department needed to be fired at that point. But anyway.
DC is just a train wreck, everything they do. But the DC Special Series was a series that lasted from 1977 to 1981. And that spanned 27 issues because it started bi-weekly and then it switched to quarterly in the spring of 1978. And so this is one of those issues.
And also, I believe some of them were like treasury size, some of them were 100 pages, some were 80, some were 20. Yeah. I mean, if this came out now, it would just be a graphic novel or whatever, right? Like, they would never bother with this type of numbering system. It's ridiculous, so...
Yeah, and tell the kids how many pages this is.
Oh, this is 80 pages. I was going to go with a 100-pager, but I thought I'd go easy.
It's so absurd. This should count as 4 weeks of picks.
Maybe. There's an argument that could be made for that.
Yeah, I think so. Because remember...
I honestly thought it was only one Flash story, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, it's 80 pages. It's one big Flash story divided up into 4 chapters of like 20 pages each. All right, but remember, you had your buddy come on the show, that kid who read all the Marvels. Remember him? And,
Kevin.
And he was on my week, and we took his issue. So you technically still owe me a pick for that.
Oh, I owe you like 10 picks then.
Yes,
all these
so I should just pick like the next 6 weeks. It should just be nothing but Marvel. But yeah, DC, because also at the big, I guess we can just get right into the cover, right? Because I don't know. Everyone knows about Flash, right?
He's the fastest man alive. I mean, the first Flash was Jay Garrick in the Golden Age. The second Flash is Barry Allen. At this point, there was only 2. And there was the Kid Flash, which is... What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say Jay Garrick first appeared in Flash Comics #1, 1940.
Right.
And he's the guy with the little metal helmet on and like the pants and the shirt, the red shirt with the lightning bolt. And he is created by Gardner Fox and Harry Lampert. And then Barry Allen. Is Barry Allen the most famous Flash?
Yeah, I mean, he's the one that was in the movie, the TV show. He had the TV show in the 90s, so he's definitely the most famous, yeah.
And he first appeared in Showcase issue 4, 1956. And he is created by Robert Kanigher. Is that how you say it? Kanigher?
Yeah, I think so.
And Carmine Infantino.
Right.
So how about that? And then you mentioned Kid Flash is Wally West, and he would eventually grow up to be Flash, right?
Yes, in 1985, 86, yeah.
But Kid Flash's first appearance was Flash 110, 1960, and he is created by John Broome and Carmine Infantino.
Cool.
Yeah. So there are the 3 characters we're talking about in this issue: Jay Garrick, Barry Allen, and Kid Flash. Whoop. Woohoo. Yeah. So,
and then don't forget Johnny Quick. Are we going to talk about Johnny Quick?
Well, we already talked about Johnny Quick once on this show back when we did All-Star Squadron.
Right. Okay.
I think, yeah. He's the dude who gets real fast when he recites a mathematical equation.
Right.
So, don't ask me how, but that's how it happens.
It's magic. Now, here's my next question. Are we going to go panel by panel for 80 pages?
Well, we'll spin through it pretty quick. Yeah, we'll spin through it pretty quick.
Not that I mind doing that, but...
I'm trying to think. Well, wasn't Flash the guy who kind of brought back superheroes, right?
Yeah, the Flash began the Silver Age of comics because... some people might know this, but superheroes were out of style by the 1950s, right? They were replaced by westerns, horror,
you had your golden
funny
age.
animals.
You had your golden age would have been Jay Garrick and like the Justice Society of America, those kids, right? The golden era, the golden age. And then when super comics fell out of favor, like you said, romances, westerns, and whatever, why did that happen? Are there any plausible reasons for why it happened?
Well, I think the only explanation I can give is that since superheroes were created like in the Depression, and then they really took off during World War II. I think once World War II was done, they were just, I don't know, they just fell out of fashion, right? Because they were so associated with like patriotism and I don't know, that whole thing. So I think that's why, I assume. And then I think the reason that the Flash worked is because they introduced a more science fiction element to everything. And in 1950s, science fiction was big, right? Like atomic radiation, like kind of like explained everything. Like all those monster movies, Godzilla, right? That was all because of atomic radiation. And so if you notice, almost all the Marvel characters are powered by radiation, right? Like gamma rays, cosmic rays, radioactive spider. And so I think that's what the Flash started.
Yeah, and tell the kids how the Barry Allen Flash got his powers. Well, how did Jay Garrick get his? Was it?
I believe Jay Garrick fell asleep and breathed in fumes from something called hard water.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I remember hard water. Yeah. Hey, remember that G.I. Joe? Didn't they have to get heavy water or something down at the bottom of that ocean because Cobra was like making a weapon?
That's right. The first G.I. Joe, like 5-parter. That's right.
Yeah, the cartoon. Yeah. All right. So that's how he got.
I just rewatched it anyway.
Yeah, that stuff's great. Now tell the kids how Barry Allen got his superpowers.
So his is a more dramatic. He was working in his lab late one night, and a bolt of lightning struck.
I think isn't that the beginning of the Monster Mash? I was working in the lab late one night.
Yeah, like I think the lightning hit the chemicals and then hit him, and so it kind of like gave him the powers of the chemicals or something. And that's pretty much it. And he became the Flash.
Kid Flash, the exact same thing happened, right?
The exact same thing happened. What a coincidence. Yep.
I know, it's so ridiculous. Kid Flash is his nephew. Barry Allen's nephew.
Yes.
Because he married Iris West, and and Kid Flash is Wally West. So, yeah, it all ties together. All right, there's something else I was going to ask you with the Flash. All right, so why is he appearing in this DC special series? He did not have his own series at the time?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I tried to find out if, like, you usually if you click through, like, on the database, it'll go, like, next appearance, but I couldn't do that for Flash, so I'm not sure if there was a regular Flash series at this point. But it's likely it was, like, on hiatus or something.
I went to the Flash Wikipedia page and went to Barry Allen, and usually they have like a publication history, and they did not have a publication history thing for him. So I'm like, all right, I'm done. I tried. That's all I did.
That's weird. Well, here, wait just a minute. I'm flipping through what month? September 1977. I do not. Oh, there is a Flash. Flash number 253. So he did have his own series. Huh.
Because there's just not enough Flash content on the market with his own series. Let's do an 80-page special.
This story was too big for one issue of Flash.
Yes, it was. All right. Well, there's a couple other things here, but maybe we'll save them. But the main writer here is Cary Bates. I guess he's the only writer, right? No, there's all Cary Bates. And then the artist is Irv Novick.
Yes. Well, the artists change every chapter, but yeah, he's the main artist. Yeah.
I think he did a few of them though, didn't he? I don't know. Yeah, but we'll talk about Irv Novick.
Yeah, I think he does at least. Yeah, And then but the most important thing, as we mentioned last week, the most important thing is it was lettered by Ben Oda.
That's right. I forgot about that.
As well as Milt Snappin. Anyway.
Yeah, it's very good.
And colored by Carl Gafford.
So, all right, so let's look at the cover here. Because if you're just looking at the book, it looks like a Flash book, Flash Spectacular. There's nothing on this that says DC Special or whatever the fuck it's called. DC.
No, you're right.
Wait, what's the official name?
Flash
DC?
Spectacular. It's DC Special Series.
Yeah, DC Special Series.
Anyway.
And there's no number 11 either.
This cover... No, there's nothing. No. The cover is done by Jose Luis García-López, whom we all know and love. It's not his best cover, but it's still really good. It's got Kid Flash, and Jay Garrick Flash running through this sort of interdimensional, like, warp, and there's like a ghost of Gorilla Grodd kind of floating above them, and it's awesome. And then in the background, you can see like kind of like space, but you can also see like what is that? It's like some kind of weird building in the background. I don't know, not a building, but like it's almost like a genie thing in the back.
Oh,
on the right.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it says, oh yeah, so it's Flash Spectacular. Okay, 80 pages, all new, $1 comics, DC, $1. So you need you need to save up your allowance for this one back then. 1978, $1 comics, $1. Flash Spectacular. 3 Flashes shatter the super speed barrier to face the fury of Super Gorilla Grodd. Special guest star Johnny Quick. I love it.
Yeah, we get a little picture of Johnny Quick there in the bottom too.
That's right.
Yeah, so $1 book. Now, Michael, there were no ads in this entire book. So is that because they soak you for $1? They don't put ads in, or is that just what we read? Second. They took the ads out.
Ugh, I wasn't thinking there. I just disconnected my headphones. 1 second. Okay, go ahead and say that again.
Well, it's $1 book. It costs $1, and I noticed there are no ads in the book.
Yeah.
So, is that because it was $1? They said, "All right, we're not going to put any ads in the book," or is that just the version we read? They took out all the ads.
That's a good question. I didn't even notice that, but that's probably, I don't know. Because let's see. No, you know what? They took the ads out because there's only 69 digital pages. Oh. So if it's an 80-page book, yeah, there's 11 pages of ads. So.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this much. It felt like 80 when I was reading it. So I wasn't worried about it.
I was hoping it'd go on forever, but anyway.
I just felt that way. So you mentioned Gorilla Grodd. So when I heard 80 pages of Flash, I was very upset. I was very angry. And then at the beginning, though, I see a monkey on the cover. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe it won't be that bad if there's a monkey. But then, Michael, the first panel of like the splash page, that monkey's getting executed. And I'm like, you son of a bitch.
It's kind of weird.
What the hell? So, but thankfully they still bring back monkeys. But I should have mentioned Gorilla Grodd, first appearance, Flash 106, 1959, created by John Broome and Carmine Infantino. He was all over the Flash, creating things. Gorilla Grodd, he's just a really smart gorilla from Gorilla City.
Yes, awesome.
Gorilla City. Is that what they call Windsor, Michael? Gorilla City? Or no?
Ooh,
is that a nickname for Windsor?
The disheard around the world.
No, I love Windsor.
I got to point out, oh yeah. When are you going to come visit?
Michael, if I call something Gorilla City, that's a compliment. Because I love monkeys.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But, so tell the kids about Gorilla City.
So I was first exposed to it in the Crisis, number 1 or 3 or whatever. It is a city in the middle of Africa that is populated by intelligent apes, and there's an invisible barrier that keeps people out. But for some reason, I don't remember why, somehow the Flash is allowed in. I guess maybe he made buddies with them like a while back, but...
Yeah, I think they do seem to be pals here, but it's not that they're invisible. There's like a dimensional barrier. Like it explains it like they're off like a frequency on a different frequency or something. So like once you cross this doorway, you're in like technically in a different dimension. So maybe that's how Flash can get there, because his powers apparently are unlimited. This Flash guy, he can just vibrate his molecules or whatever and do whatever the fuck he wants. Okay. That's the problem I have with Flash, my guy. All right, let's just get right to the meat of the matter here. How does he ever lose a fight? He can run faster than people can think or blink or do anything. How come he doesn't just knock everybody out instantly?
That's a good question, and that's why in 1986 they reduced the Flash's speed down from being faster than the speed of light to like 700 miles per hour, because that's at least, conceivable that someone could do that. But the speed of light, you're right, is like all the Flash movies when they show him like running in between people as they're like frozen in time. It's ridiculous, because you're right, he could defeat anybody.
Yeah, that's why I never really cared for the Flash, because it made no sense. Also, did they ever explain what his costume's made out of?
Yeah, I can't remember. It's not unstable molecules, but it's something like that, and that's why he can keep it compressed in his, of course, ring, his Flash ring.
Yeah, that's stupid. That is ridiculously dumb.
No, it's awesome. That's beautiful. That's why DC's awesome, because the Flash has his costume in a ring, and there's a city of intelligent apes in the middle of Africa. That's awesome.
All their superheroes wear rings. That's why they're awesome. All right, so Gorilla City is a city of advanced apes, and Gorilla Grodd is kind of like their Lex Luthor and Gorilla. He's a bad dude, this Gorilla Grodd.
Right.
Like the other gorillas in Gorilla City are nice. They're happy. They're good people, you know?
Yeah,
good
like
simians.
we see a mother gorilla walking with a gigantic purse, walking her kid that is holding a Batman toy.
Yes.
Awesome.
So ridiculous. Why do you think she keeps in that gigantic purse? I'm guessing bananas, right? Just a lot of bananas.
Could be, yeah. Right. And then we also see on the right here of this double page splash, we see a bunch of apes going through like is that like a subway or is it's like?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's kind of like their subway. They're all holding the handles of the subway, and they just get dragged along by it, I guess. Okay. Like a ski lift, but in a giant tube.
Right. Okay.
They grab the handle.
Yeah, we're not going to go... It's so cool. I'd love to see this in the Flash movie, but I know
Mike, we skipped the big...
the intro?
Yeah, the intro splash page, because they show little panels of each. The prologue shows Gorilla Grodd getting executed, and part 1, Kid Flash as he runs the most nightmarish race of his life. He's running next to a motorcycle that's on fire. Then part 2 is my favorite, and this is page 21. You'll share the Flash's astonishment at seeing the treacherous turtle, the slowest criminal alive, race past at ultra speed. No.
Woo!
Maybe we'll save this discussion for when we get to the turtle.
Yeah. How will Flash get out of that one, eh? That's what I was wondering.
There are so many questions I have about the turtle. But for those who can't see him, he's just an elderly man. That's all he is.
Yeah, like balding too, overweight. Yeah.
All right. Part
so
3
basically...
I'm sorry. Part 3 is you'll be shocked as the first meeting of the Golden Age Flash and Johnny Quick turns into a super fast brawl. Part 4, you'll cheer as the 3 Flashes team up to ward off a monstrous threat to their lives. The epilogue. Then to complete your journey, a happy and surprise ending. Well, not really that much of a surprise if you tell us it's happy. Special feature, page 77, Who's Who in Flash's Rogues Gallery. So that's something. All right. So that's what's in store for us.
Right. So this is kind of like a little preview splash page, we'll say.
Yeah.
And then we get to this double page splash, and so we got the title here, Beyond the Super Speed Barrier, and we see a bunch of African safari guys watching Gorilla Grodd. Is it Gorilla Grodd? Is that him? No,
yes.
It's not.
Isn't it?
Oh, it is. Okay. So.
No. It's Jeroy. It's Jeroy.
Yeah. Right, Jeroy. So this Jeroy is walking along, these guys are walking him, and then he just disappears through this, like, barrier, like we said, and then he just, all of a sudden, he's in Gorilla City. And we've already described Gorilla City.
Oh, yeah, here. By stepping through an intra-warp field operating on a vibratory frequency visible only to simian eyes. So, I guess... I don't know. The door is always there, except humans can't see it, or I don't know. Who knows?
Right, but I think the city is physically there, though. It is in Africa, as far as I know.
But then how come people can't just walk into it?
Well, because they can't see the door.
But you'd still hit something, though. Like, the people would eventually hit an object.
Maybe
something
accidentally,
physical.
You're right. Maybe that's a story for another day.
Because when the monkey walks into the door, like, he just kind of, like, you see half a monkey, and then you see, like, the trees and vegetation behind him and stuff. So what is all that painted? Like, I don't understand. Yeah, don't overthink Gorilla City. It won't make sense. I think my explanation is it's in a different dimensional frequency. Maybe that's the best way to think of it. I don't know.
Well, but it doesn't follow. But anyway, that's okay though. So the important thing about Gorilla City is that in Gorilla City they follow simian law, right?
Yeah.
So according to simian law, Gorilla Grodd is a bad guy, so they're going to execute him, right? That's what's going on here. So they've got him on the electric chair, or a form of an electric chair, and they're talking about all the bad things that he's done. And again, we got 80 pages, so we're not going to go through every little panel here. But essentially, they all decide, they kind of have like a vote, right? Yep. And they decide, yep, we're going to do it. Hit the button. And then, actually, this page is really good. We see like the one gorilla put his finger on the button. We see a close-up of the button. And then we see Grodd writhing in pain. And then we see on a giant TV screen, all these gorillas are watching it on the TV. They're like, it is done. Simian justice has finally been served. That's right.
It's kind of like their Times Square. They're watching the big TV screen at Times Square. Or the gorilla. Yeah.
Right, and then we cut back, and Gorilla Grodd has not been executed. He's been disintegrated. He is gone. Yeah. And we'll find out more about that later. But yeah, so then the bubble says, never again will Grodd threaten Gorilla City and the outside world. Right, so yeah, he's gone. Yeah. So now we cut over to the main story. The prologue is over. We cut over to Kid Flash, who is in his bedroom. And by the way, I guess we're going to talk about this later, but this chapter is drawn by Jose Luis Garcia-Lopez, again, who's a DC mainstay, but it's inked by Wally Wood, who I'm not sure if we ever talked about, but he's like a giant in the industry at this point.
Yeah, we mentioned him before. He was one of the creators of Daredevil, right?
He created the red costume.
Yeah.
I don't think he created Daredevil, but he definitely designed the red
He was
costume
one of the original artists, like, in the early days, though. Maybe not the... Who created Daredevil? It wasn't Wally Wood. It was
Stanley and Bill Everett.
Yes.
Stanley and Bill Everett, I think.
Bill Everett. But Wally Wood, like, drew, like, a lot of the issues after... Because the first, like, 10 issues, he drew several of them, I think. Let's put it that way.
Right.
But,
yeah.
Anyway.
So we got this Peter Parker-esque situation happening where Wally West is in his Kid Flash costume, but he's got his mask off, and he's in his bedroom, and his mother is walking in with, like, some laundry. She's like, Wally, I'm bringing your clean clothes. And he's like, whoa, crap. So then she's like, oh, my goodness, look at what you're wearing. And we're thinking, oh, no, his secret identity is revealed. Oh, he threw on his graduation, like, robe, so... A little comedy there. I love it. So anyway, she's like...
Hey, up in Canada, Michael, do you have graduation robes?
Well, yeah, of course.
Oh, all right. Just wondering. I don't know.
It's exactly the same.
I've never seen a Canadian high school graduation. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much exactly the same, as far as I know.
Maybe you put on some flannel.
Some flannel? No, there's no flannel. There's no. There's no Doc Martens. No, sorry.
All right. Just wanted to check.
Yeah. So anyway, Wally West's like, okay, whatever. He's like, so he decides he's gonna go for a bike ride with his girlfriend.
When you say bike ride, it's like a motorbike.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah.
And they force the dog to run next to them the whole time. Like, that dog has to be exhausted. Like, what the fuck?
Right. And so they go for a picnic, and they like buy like a little stream or whatever. Oh, I love this. I love this. So they're sitting there, and I don't know if it's supposed to be an innuendo, but Leslie puts her hand on Flash's hand, and then on the next panel, his costume explodes out of his ring. And he's like, gasp! Yeah. Leslie's hand accidentally pressed the release button on my costume ring. There goes my secret identity. It's awesome. And then, of course, the dog... And there goes Lightning. His dog's name is Lightning. Playing hide and seek with my Kid Flash uniform. So the dog runs off with his uniform. And then he's like, what else could go wrong today? Awesome.
Well, we should mention he's very introspective. And his girlfriend Leslie complains that he's not listening to her. And like they're sitting with each other like back to back. So when she hits the button on the ring, she doesn't see the costume pop out. And she's looking the other way. And she doesn't even see the dog run away with it. And he's so busy looking at the dog, she gets mad and she just takes off. And he goes, oh, well, I guess I got to go get my costume. I can't go worry about Leslie.
Right.
And to quote what he's thinking here, usually it's no picnic when a girl walks out on you. But I must say, Leslie's timing couldn't be better. Yeah, so he has to run after his dog.
Glad I got rid of her. Yeah. So then we see this shot of him running. Bad boy, Lightning. Just for this, I'm not going to introduce you to that pretty collie you've been howling about. So then, this is great too. So then he hears like a roar.
Just because you did this, Lightning, I want to make you run home, all the way home, because we can't hold you on the bike because we're horrible people.
So then he's like, I hear it too, Lightning. It sounds like my psych. And since Leslie doesn't know how to drive, I have to assume some one is trying to steal it, but the one starts a new panel and he's already got his costume on. And if you kids are confused at home, it says at the bottom, so fast is Kid Flash, he's donned his uniform in between syllables. I love that. So then he runs off to go figure out what's going on.
Do you think they added that just because do you think they added that for like because they had a typo there with someone? They just didn't. We need to explain that we fucked up spelling someone, because it would have been better if they just said someone ... is trying to steal it, but I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I know, but they had to over-explain everything back then. I know it was frustrating, but anyway. So yeah, he's running to figure out what's going on. This is awesome, and he sees Leslie riding towards him on this motorbike, and he's like, "Leslie, get off that thing before you hurt yourself." But she is ignoring him. You don't even know how to ride, so he jumps up and does the splits as she rides underneath him, and he's like, "I must be hallucinating." It's kind of not only
Michael, it's kind of like that. I'm sorry, but it's kind of like that classic wrestling thing where they throw the guy into the ropes, then they come back, they jump, do the leapfrog over him, and then they fall to the mat and they jump over. You know what I'm talking about? It's that old thing.
Of course. I'm
sorry.
It's classic.
Sorry to interrupt. I just always have to add wrestling talk.
Right, yeah. So then he's like, okay, well, she went underneath me, so now I got to go back and chase after her. And then as he's running, he breaks the sound barrier. Twin sonic booms. We've both broken the sound barrier. So he's broken it, which is not surprising, but somehow she has as well. So he's chasing after her. And then he's like, I got to pull Leslie off the bike before the heat of air friction fries her to a crisp. Blast! She just hit the brakes. Just as I was about to grab her. So he's running, he's trying to get after her. And then she, shoots up some rocks with the back tire. And then he's, blocking them with his fists. And then he's chasing after her. And then, what happens here?
She turns into Ghost Rider.
Yeah, there's this electrical charge coming from the bike that throws him off balance, and then he does these twirls in the air, and I don't know if that's a wrestling move too, but anyway, he keeps running, and then this is my favorite part. So then he sees Leslie, and it says, but as the accelerating Kid Flash closes the gap between him and his quarry, his face contorts with a desperate scream. Leslie! She's turning to actual fire. The air friction's starting to burn her up. Gotta save her before. Now she's a skeleton. Oh God, I'm too late. Boom! She explodes.
Boom.
Right. But here's the thing. He's like, oh, the explosion sent me hurtling through some eerie super speed barrier I'd never crossed before. He doesn't seem too busted up. His girlfriend just exploded and burned to death.
But he realizes that she was a hallucination.
Well, I didn't get to that. Yeah, because then he's like, as for Leslie, I bet she's trying to hitch a ride back home by now. And then the narration says, no, reader, Kid Flash hasn't lost his senses because of shock or sorrow. Keep your eyes on the Teen Thunderbolt. I wrote that one down, Teen Thunderbolt. Never heard that one before. So he realized that she was just an illusion, right? And this was all just to trick him, right? So he runs past the real Leslie, and she's trying to hitch a ride home, which of course is safe, so he just lets her do it.
Yeah. You think he would try to approach her and apologize for being a dick. No, he just lets her hitchhike.
Right.
So she'll probably be, assaulted and thrown in a ditch somewhere. But it's all right.
Right. Don't worry about it. So we can laugh about it. Anyway, so then he he runs back to his dog Lightning. He changes back into Wally West, and we think he's out of danger, but no. Now we see Gorilla Grodd standing with a ray gun behind a tree. Huh? It's
not Gorilla Grodd.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
Who is it again? I don't remember.
It's that Gyrol guy.
Oh, Gyrol.
When they explain it all.
So he's...
And he has already done what he's going to do to him, though. He's just just looking on deviously, but he already did his shenanigans.
Right. So then he's Wally West is playing fetch with his dog, and then we see the simian, he's all smiling because, he pulled a fast one on him, so to speak. And then it says, but, judging from the expression on the gorilla's face, it looks like mission accomplished. So, as you said, he's already done what he's going to do. So then we cut over to... It's so funny because we just had that scene at the beginning with, the shenanigans, the Three's Company shenanigans with Wally West protecting his identity. And now in this issue, on page 18, he decides, I'm going to reveal my identity. So we end on this splash page with the parents walking into his room, and he's standing in his Kid Flash costume with his mask off. So he's decided he's going to tell his parents his super secret. And then it says the end for the moment. And now it's time for part 2. Don't worry,
let's make this one quicker.
This thing.
Yeah, let's let's zip through this one.
Okay, so now, so to speak, now the Flash, he runs into Gorilla City. He finds out what's going on or what happened.
Well, this Flash, just to be clear, it's Barry Allen. Barry Allen.
So this is not Kid Flash. This is the Flash.
Yeah.
So he's in Gorilla City. He finds out that they, quote, executed Gorilla Grodd, but not really. He actually gets sent into an invisible realm. His atoms get scattered to an invisible realm, but there's no way to bring him back. So he is essentially dead. King, Sullivan is explaining how the process worked, how they sent it to another dimension. And he's like, as it is with your race, old friend, we simians turn to capital punishment only as a last resort. What exactly was the method used in Grodd's execution? Technically, Grodd did not die. He was dispersed.
Oh!
Yes! And then the Flash
I didn't even realize.
Dispersed! Yeah.
So, King Monkey is telling Flash that their original plan was to put Gorilla Grodd in a special prison cell. But
King Sullivan. Yeah.
King Sullivan. So, but our buddy Geroy, who we saw at the beginning of the issue, he said, no. Grodd is toying with us. He'll just wait for a chance to escape. We must kill Gorilla Grodd. And so they took a vote, and King Monkey or King Solivar, he was the only one who voted to put him in prison. All the other monkeys voted to kill him. So that's why it was like a 6-1 vote. So that's why they decided to kill Grodd. And now Flash thinks, oh well, I guess Grodd's dead. Time to go party. Right. And he just leaves, right? He's like, I'm out.
Right. So Sullivan, he wanted to put Grodd in this prison thing.
Yeah.
Right? He wanted to put...
I explained all that. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
I'm looking right at the comic, but I guess I wasn't listening anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Flash takes off after he realizes Grodd's dead, and he returns home to... Where does he live? Windsor?
Central City.
Central City.
He runs back over the ocean to Central City.
Yeah. And this is, I was like, come on, running over the ocean.
It's awesome. All right, I love it. Anyway, so then he's like, it's 7:56 now. Still leaves me plenty of time to be at my police lab desk drinking my morning cup of coffee before 8 o'clock. And I love it because the narration boxes have these little hands pointing to things. It's so cool. But in Central City Street along the Scarlet Speedster.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. It's not cool. It's ridiculous is what it is.
I love it. It's like, I think it's a Silver Age thing, but anyway.
Yeah, the narration box has a human arm sticking out with a hand pointing to things. And it's ridiculous.
I love it.
All right.
So Flash stops a car accident, but then he runs to work. And as he's running, he sees his coworker, Patty Spivot, who is going to be to work. So he wants to obviously be ahead of her, so he runs in, and she thinks she's early, but when she walks in, he's already sitting there drinking his coffee, and so they joke around, blah, blah, blah. Then we cut over to the Turtle, who is looking at, funny enough, some turtles.
All right, the Turtle. First appearance, All Flash 21, 1945. Created by Gardner Fox and Martin Nadell. Now, Michael, this is the first experience I've ever had with the Turtle. So, explain. He's basically an old dude, an old, bald, gray-haired dude, fat. And he kind of looks like an old, fat Marlon Brando. And he's dressed like a turtle. He's got like a turtle shell on his back. And his shirt looks kind of like a turtle skin or a turtle shell. So, Michael, apparently his power is he's really slow.
That's right.
How is that a power?
That's a good question because this is DC and it's insane. But anyway,
it's like...
I actually had no idea until now that there was a Golden Age turtle. No idea. I thought there was only a Silver Age one. But I
guess they try to say he's very deliberate in his planning and schemes, but he walks very slowly.
Well, maybe like it's to trick the Flash. I don't know.
It's so stupid.
But anyway.
All right.
And he's got a slow laser. He has a slow laser, and it's work. Although my slow laser is workable on paper, in theory, he's thinking very slowly. unable to attain the correct high-frequency flux to produce an operational
they put
beam.
ellipses in there to show the hesitation in how he speaks. So
Right.
Yeah.
So he tests the slow laser on one of the turtles, and I guess it knocks... Oh, no, he doesn't. Sorry, no, that's not him. It's Geroy. Geroy comes in with his laser gun, a different laser, and shoots the turtle, knocks it off the table. The turtle sees the turtle on the ground. And
Miguel, he hears a plop. And he says, "I'd know that telltale sound anywhere. One of my little chums has fallen on its back."
Yeah. And then he's like, "It's a good thing your shell is so tough, clumsy one." But while the sinister sloth, see his nickname there? It's so cool. Comes to the aid of the helpless turtle ever so slowly, he has no inkling of the silent simian behind him, firing a strange laser device at the slow laser. So Geroy shoots his laser at the slow laser. Then, 6 minutes and 23 seconds later, by the time the turtle has returned his fallen pet to its proper place and resumed his laser research, Geroy is like back in Gorilla City.
Yeah, and so he shoots the laser at Central City, and he wants to make everyone slow in Central City so he can rob the bank. Although I don't know how, because he's just almost as slow, but he'll be faster than them, I guess. He's going to make them so slow that he'll be fast. Because he looks at the clock, and I think the clock is saying that it's a quarter, like, is it saying it's 9 o'clock in the morning? It's tough to tell because the hands are pretty much the same size.
Yeah,
But he says, I should be able to reach to the bank before 3 if I hurry. So it's going to take him 6 hours to get to Central City.
Yeah,
this guy's a criminal mastermind. All right.
Oh, yeah, see, because it says it's 15 miles south. So, yeah, I think that's the joke, right? Because he's so slow.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just don't get how he can be a villain if he's this slow. I just don't understand. But anyway.
And by the way, his secret lab is in this giant turtle shell. But it doesn't even look like it's three-dimensional. This is like
that's the other
shell,
thing.
Like just sitting
it's kind of like
a tree.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mushroom with a big turtle shell on top of it. Like so I wonder where the turtle's headquarters is.
Yeah.
Jesus, I wonder. So, could it be in that big turtle shell? Nope. All right. All right, let's get through this pretty quick.
No, I think we're gonna do this turtle style instead. But anyway, So then his wife calls him, and as he's talking to his wife, he hears the news bulletin.
Yeah, Barry Allen, by the way. Barry Allen's.
Yeah, Barry
Allen's wife, not the turtle. Turtle's a bachelor. He's a swinging bachelor, the turtle.
Right. Yeah. A bizarre epidemic of complete paralysis has struck the immediate area around the First Central Bank, where a robbery is in progress. So as soon as he hears that, click, he hangs up with his wife and he's out of there, right? Changes into the Flash. He's running around to get to the bank. And he gets there just as the turtle is coming out. And then Turtle shoots Flash with his slow laser, and it hits Flash right in the face. And it says here that the beam travels at the speed of light, and that's why the Flash can't dodge it. Which, if you think about it, any laser would that's all you'd have to do then, is just always use lasers, because he can't dodge them, right? But anyway.
I suppose, but, I mean, he could hit you like 30,000 times by the time he pulled the trigger, but, whatever.
That's true. So Flash is like, he's hit in the face, but he's like, he doesn't realize what's happened. So he's like, I gotta nab him. So he starts to tries to run, but he's like, what? The turtle is the slowest man alive, so how come he's making his getaway at a blurred super speed? So to the Flash, it looks like the turtle's really fast, and he can't figure out what's going on. So he's following him, and he tries to jump on him, but he falls. And then he's tumbling through the street, and he can't figure out what's going on, and he looks around, he's like, he not only released everyone from that slow plague, he's got them all moving at super speed. So to him, everyone looks like they're moving at super speed, right? But to the bystanders on the street, they're like, what's with the Flash? He's staggering. Why is he covering his eyes like that? He doesn't look so well. So then they, try to follow him into an alley to help him, but he's gone already. So he goes back home, and he runs into Iris, who I guess knows that he's the Flash.
Yeah.
Still there? Yeah. I could never.
I was going to make a joke about their honeymoon. That's how she knew he was the Flash, but I won't. Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, he's. I didn't realize that they were already married at this point, but whatever. So he's like, yeah, basically like the Flash, the Turtle zapped me with something. He hit me with something, and I think I figured out exactly what he did. So then they're driving along, and he's like, as you know, my eyes enable me to track incredible velocities with effortless ease, like a bullet leaving a gun. To me, it seems like the bullet is barely moving. Blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, my guess is the Turtle invented a laser beam that struck my optic nerves and slowed down my eyesight. Now even the slowest moving objects look blurred and seem to be traveling at super speed, including the Turtle himself. So that's what happened. So he's got to find a way to undo the damage. So him and Iris go back to their house. He cooks up a plan. He leaves. He he runs around the Earth, as one does. And it's funny because in this picture of the Earth, apparently the Earth has like 6 moons. But anyway.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, but he's running around. He's trying to run as fast as possible. And the whole time he's running, he has to keep his molecules vibrating so he passes through, because he still can't see, right? You know? So he's he's running through everything. He's running right through it.
Right.
And
so he's trying to reach the hyper light speed velocity we arrived at with our computations, him and his wife. So he's running, and then the Turtle is back at his headquarters, and then he hears the counting his money that he stole, and he's like, and he hears like a whirr, and he's like, what is that whirling noise? And then we cut to the outside, and we see that his turtle shell mushroom headquarters is being like knocked off the ground and like projected into the air by the Flash. And he's like, only a tornado could create enough raw force to do that much damage. Only a tornado or a super speeding Flash. And sure enough, it's the Flash. It's not a tornado, right? And so then I guess I didn't know the Turtle could do this either. He can like shoot his shell off his back like a projectile. So he's like, introducing my jet-powered ejecting shell. So he fires it at the Flash, but Flash kind of he like splits it in half, slices it down the middle.
Yeah, does the Turtle really think that was going to work? I mean, like, he's the Flash. He could just like step aside, you know? It's not gonna, like, I could avoid it, and the Flash could avoid it. But all right.
But then
whatever, Turtle.
And he's also not ready for Flash's finishing maneuver, which is a whole bunch of karate chops in the back, right? Ka-chok, ka-chok, ka-chok.
Do you really need 3 to take out this elderly man? Can I one have done it? Hits him 3 times.
And then I love this, and it's cut right to the chase. And after the slowest man alive has been speedily arrested and booked, so now that's case is over. They cut back to the Flash and Iris sitting back at the house, and they're kind of like joking around, and they're talking about Patty's wedding present, blah blah blah. And then it's like, and he's like, we'll get a pair of lovebirds. That way they'll remember us every time they look at the little creatures, and feed them and clean their cage. Still, from you, Barry, maybe turtle doves would be more appropriate. And then the Flash kind of like winks, and then that's the end of that chapter. Woo!
I would have ended on turtle doves instead of would have been more appropriate. Yeah, we're halfway there. Halfway there.
Woo! All right. Yep. So now we get to the Golden Age Flash. Jay Garrick, and this art is by Kurt Schaffenberger, inked by Murphy Anderson, 2 of my favorites.
Really?
Whew. Oh, well, yeah, in a way. I mean, I love Murphy Anderson. Schaffenberger is not one of my favorites, but I mean, I do love his style, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I just picked Novick for the hell of it. I could have picked all these guys, but yeah. So.
No, yeah, Kurt Schaffenberger I think he was the main Lois Lane artist for a while, so anyway. We are now at Keystone Research Laboratories Incorporated. We're with Jay Garrick, and apparently he's revealed his secret identity, so everyone knows that he's the Flash. And he's walking along, talking to like the people that he works with. He's being interviewed. And outside, Johnny Chambers is coming in with his sidekick. What's his sidekick's name?
Whatever it is, it is not Jimmy Olsen. Fat Jimmy Olsen.
No, but he's kind of like Fat Jimmy Olsen, yeah. So then, meanwhile, as that's happening, we see a hulking simian appear holding a laser gun. It is Jeroy again, right?
Yep.
And so then we cut inside, and now Johnny Chambers is his buddy's got his camera out, and they're
Tubby Watts. Tubby Watts is his name.
Right. And so they're filming the people interviewing Jay Garrick. And as that's happening, this big explosion of water shoots out of the side of this building.
Yes.
And the Flash Jay Garrick turns into the Flash, and then he's like, I oversaw all the H2O experiments we were conducting, and none of them could be the cause of anything like this. So then Johnny Chambers is like, looks to me like Jay Garrick might be able to use a super speed assist, Tubby. Meantime, make sure keep taping. So Johnny Chambers says his magic formula. Now, I'm not a math guy, so pardon me if I don't say this right, but 3 times 2, 9YZ, 4AX. Oh, I guess it's, I said that right. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. So then, but here's the thing, folks, is Johnny Chambers, Johnny Quick, cannot just run really fast. He can also fly, which I guess kind of defeats the purpose of running, but whatever. So he's flying through the air, and the Flash is running, and they're both trying to get to this water.
And yeah, they're trying to break up a blob of water. That's the danger here. A big giant blob of water. Because they're worried, I don't know, it's going to make something wet. Right. I don't know why they're so terrified that this water is going to do something. But yeah.
So they're running up the side of this building to try and stop this water. And then Johnny Quick is like, where is it? He's like, my turn now. With my flying power, I can get the best results via an inside job, using my super speed to break 1 menace into 3. This way I can endanger 3 times more lives and property. You heard it right, reader, and so did the flabbergasted Flash. So it seems like Johnny Quick has turned evil, right? So, what's his name? The Flash has to figure out how to stop this water by himself, so he diverts one of the... Because it's split into 3 now, so he diverts one, and it ends up dissipating into, like, just rain, or whatever. And then with the other one, he throws his hat at the big thing of water, and it spins around it and turns into steam and gives these workers a sauna bath. And then the last one, he diverts it, and it goes into the Keystone City's reservoir.
Thank God nothing got wet. That's all I gotta say.
So then he's got to figure out what happened. What's going on with Johnny Quick? So then Johnny Quick. Now we cut over to Johnny Quick driving in this van with what's his name? Tubby
Watts.
So he's like, I still can't believe I did that, Tubby. I just don't know what came over me. And Tubby's like, I do. It was the new variable in your magic formula. New variable? What? He's like, yeah, I wrote it down. So apparently he said his formula. He added an X to the formula, and that screwed everything up. So who knows why he did it, but that's
because the monkey shot him with the laser gun. That's why.
We don't know that. We don't know that yet, do we?
But I think we saw the monkey earlier, like getting in there.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a panel that they don't show him shooting him, but they say Johnny Quick is flying so fast he doesn't even notice the invisible laser beam hitting him or something.
Okay.
But could you notice an invisible laser beam? But anyway, my favorite thing is this: sometime later, in a house across town, and we just see an exterior shot of the house, and we just see like a dialogue bubble coming out. Nobody does it quite like you, honey.
I know. Nothing like one of your rub downs after a super speed workout. Yeah.
One of your special rub downs. Yeah.
So I love this. So basically, Johnny Chambers comes in to try and explain himself. He's like, since you told the world the whole world your secret, I guess I can trust you with mine. I can trust you and the Mrs. with mine. So he puts on his costume, but also at the same time he's saying his formula, and at the bottom it says, "We know, sharp reader, once again, Johnny has tampered with his magic formula." And we find out, it's because of the simian, Geroy, has opened up the window, and he's shooting his invisible beam into the room. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's just lifting up the window and shooting his laser gun in the room, and like no one notices this monkey opening the window.
It's so hilarious. I love it. And then I love it because then Johnny Quick is like, "Rest assured, whatever hit me this morning is out of my system. I came here to apologize. And just to show you how really sorry I am, I'm going to kidnap your wife." And he grabs his wife and just runs off with her. It's awesome.
All right, kidnap your wife and put her in real danger. Exclamation point.
Yeah.
Not fake danger. Real danger.
Right. So then he runs off, and Jay Garrick got turned into the Flash again, so he gets dressed up. And Johnny Chambers, so now he finds his wife just standing there in the middle of, like, next to this tree. And then he doesn't see, but then Johnny Quick comes out of nowhere, hits him in the back, and then starts running around him. And then Flash is running the opposite way, because he's like, he's trying to suffocate me with counterclockwise super speed revolutions, creating an instant vacuum. So I'll just hold my breath and set up a clockwise spin, matching his speed blur for blur. So they're running, and then something happens. What in creation? I seem to have broken through to another dimension. And so then he stops running, and then, what's his name? Johnny Quick is kind of like knocked out. Not really knocked out, but he's like disorientated. And then basically Tubby, what's his name? Tubby Tots?
Tubby Watts.
Tubby Watts, he rejoins them, and he's like, don't let him say the formula, Flash. He can't get it right, and then he says it, and it's right. I feel much better. Holy cats, you spoke it right that time. You're your old self again, Johnny. So it looks like everything's A-okay, and everyone's happy, right? So that's the end of that chapter.
Yeah, he just lets him go for kidnapping his wife. Hey, no problem. Yeah.
That's right. So then we cut back to, so Barry and his wife are in bed. Kid Flash is with his parents at dinner, and both of their costumes get activated automatically. And basically, they get dragged without wanting, like, they get dragged sort of like forced to meet up with
something
Jay
makes
Garrick.
them put on their costumes, and then they get sucked through the walls of their houses and just like backwards through the walls. So I don't understand how this happened.
They end up meeting up with Jay Garrick. And
and keep in mind, Jay Garrick had to come all the way from Earth 2.
Right. That's a far way to run.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec here. And so anyway, so then basically they're trying to figure out what's going on, and then he's like, and now he's like, Jay Garrick's like, what happens next? And you hear a voice. You're about to find out. All eyes turn towards the source of a voice, deep, foreboding, and inhuman. A talking ape! Great guns, it's Grodd. Super Gorilla Grodd.
No, not Grodd.
So wait a minute. So it wasn't Jeroy. I'm confused.
No, they're confused. It's not Grodd. They think it's Grodd.
Right.
It's Jarrell, or the little whatever his name is, Jarrell.
So they think they've killed him.
Yeah, Jay Garrick grabs Jarrell's left arm, Kid Flash grabs his right arm, and they spin him around like a top, and to not make him dizzy, and then he falls over dead. Right. They killed a monkey. This is my least favorite comic book ever. They like two monkeys. Well, one gets dispersed and one gets killed. But Flash is like, hey, that is not Gorilla Grodd, because I got it right from Solivar, who witnessed the execution. This must be one of Grodd's fellow apes from Gorilla City. When he comes to, we'll find out. We'll find out nothing, says Jay Garrick. This ape is dead. Dun, dun, dun.
Right. And now, if you thought this story was fun, it's about to get a lot more funner, okay? Because now we start having mind control. We have, all of a sudden, the Kid Flash is possessed. He has a voice coming from his mouth, but it's not his, right? He's like, you're right, Flash. His name was Jeroy, and I killed him with sheer mind power. He had outlived his usefulness. So they realize that Kid Flash is possessed, right?
Yeah, and his dialogue, the bubbles are blue and outlined in purple. So that's how you know he's possessed.
And he's like, look at his eyes. Kid Flash is in a trance of some kind. Jeroy had been acting as my agent, my simian on the outside, right? And so basically, they're trying to figure out what's going on.
Then Jay Garrick gets possessed. Grodd's taking turns.
Right.
And basically, Grodd says, this is all Grodd's master plan. He knew that if they put him in that cell, he probably wouldn't be able to escape. So he took control. One of his powers is he can control people's minds and other monkeys' minds. So he controlled the mind of this poor Jarrell guy who ended up dead, plus the other monkeys, because he wanted them to vote to have him dispersed. Because if he got dispersed, he knew his atoms, his molecules, whatever, they'd go to this other dimension. And then he had this master plan to have Jarrell go around with that laser gun and trick the Flashes to run fast enough to get into that other dimension and to run through it. And his theory was that when they ran through that dimension, enough of Grodd's molecules be collected on their bodies so that if he would ever reunite them, all of Grodd's molecules would come together and then he would become back into reality. That's his plan.
Right.
And it worked like a charm.
Very straightforward. Yep.
Yeah. And clearly it would work because it's such an easy plan. But there's a great picture of Grodd coming back to life, and he's yelling, "Grodd lives again. I'm a big monkey." Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
So they all have to fight Grodd now, the three of them combined. But Grodd is just slapping them silly. And again, they're running faster than the speed of light, yet Grodd is just manhandling them. And I don't understand it.
Just batting them aside, right? They're like kicking up rocks. They're like hitting him in the back, thud, thud, thud. They're kicking him in the face. Nothing is working, right? Which is good because you want your bad guy to be, formidable. But then, I bet you didn't see this one coming, Mike Dell.
But at one point, Grodd even vibrates to turn his body intangible. So, wow, Grodd's got superpowers, too.
Yeah.
He can do all kinds of shit. Yeah.
That's right. So then, Barry Allen has a plan. He's like, when he boasted about being our superior separately or together, he said the secret word that will win the battle. Together! Never tried anything like this before, but in theory it makes sense. 3 flashes merging their atoms together for a split instant.
So they have a three-way. They make the three. They have a three-way lovemaking session.
Barry Allen and Wally West form. This is kind of ridiculous. One flash.
Oh, this is kind of ridiculous? This is where you draw the line?
Helmet. Flashes torso. And then blue pants. But then yellow boots. So, yeah, anyway, it's a mixture of all three. And then he's like, for a split instant, to deliver a triple-powered speed blow powerful enough to knock Grodd out of his hairy hide. Pow! Knocks him out. He's done. Awesome.
Yeah. I'm sure they gave each other superpowered speed blows. Yeah, and he knocks out the monkey. Pow!
Right.
And, so then they take Grodd back to Gorilla City, and King Monkey puts him in the prison cell. And they look in on him, and Grodd's just sleeping like a good little chimp. And he's like, then that's it. And then Flash says, all right, I got to go. It's an important day for my nephew tomorrow.
Right. So now we get to the epilogue. Penciler Irv Novick. And now it's the graduation day for Wally West. And we see all the guests here. I won't go through all of them, but it includes all the Teen Titans. Wonder Girl, Robin, Aqualad, Mal Duncan, and Harlequin. Not Harley Quinn, but Harlequin. Who's
Mal Duncan?
Dent. Mal Duncan, he's a Teen Titan that I don't think he ever got a superhero name. He was just called Mal Duncan. But he was a superhero. And Speedy's also. Yeah, isn't that funny? Yeah, it's weird.
Because he's a black fella, so you're telling me they just don't give the black ones superhero names? Is that what's going on here, Michael?
I guess not. I'm going to look it up. Mal Duncan. Oh, you know what? Okay, he did get a name later on. They called him Vox.
Vox.
Not much of a name, eh?
Yeah. But we also have Batman and Clark Kent and...
Elongated Man.
Oh, yeah. And look, Elongated Man's wife, who was later raped and murdered. Right?
It's so sad. Oh, God. I mean, that's what I mean. Say what you want about DC, but I'd rather read this than frickin' what's her name? Sue Dibney being raped and, having Speedy's arm amputated and all that crap. I'd rather read this anyway.
Yeah, I hear you.
But anyway.
This is better. Yeah. Talking monkeys. It's better than that. And we also get a lot of, all the little boxes have human hands and arms again pointing to the people.
Yep.
So that's very strange. So then we get a final scene with Barry Allen and Kid Flash, Wally West. They're chatting it up. And what does Wally West tell Barry Allen there, Michael?
Well, basically, and it's between the lines, but basically at the end, the Flash, we see Barry Allen crying, and he's like, fair enough, but it'll be tough seeing you become a college graduate and a Kid Flash dropout on the same day. I'll hate to lose you, pal. I've been great. It's been great jogging with you all these years. I'll really miss you. I know, Uncle Barry. I know. So basically, he's told. It's weird because he's told him, I am going to quit being the Kid Flash, but once I'm done college. Oh wait, no, that's now. So he is quitting now, right?
Yeah, he's quitting being Kid Flash while he's in college, but he's like, I'll always be Kid Flash if you need me. Basically, is what he's telling him there.
Yeah, right.
But
Okay, so. I got it. I misread that. Okay. So yeah, that's it. He's quit being Kid Flash, but obviously that didn't.
But how can you quit being Kid Flash? We ran into this issue before with that one book where Superman quit being Superman. But so if Kid Flash is just at the college campus there and he sees a kid like falling out a window, he's going, oh well, I'm not going to save him,
Well, that's usually what happens in those stories is they quit. Just like Spider-Man quits every 50 issues, and then something happens and he has to put on the costume again, right? So
did Kid Flash really quit for a while, or was he having college adventures as Kid Flash?
I don't know. I know that within 2 years he was in the New Teen Titans, so it didn't last long, did it?
Maybe he flunked out of college. He doesn't look that bright.
Yeah, maybe.
So next, Michael, we got Who's Who in the Flash's Rogues Gallery. And it's kind of like an abridged version of Marvel Universe where there's just like one paragraph of all the little villains and a couple pictures of them. But, wow, some of these villains, Michael, good Lord.
Oh, they're so good, I know.
Let's go through some of the names here. The Turtle, of course.
Oh, great.
What foe would be more natural for the fastest man alive than the slowest man alive? I don't know. Maybe another fastest man alive? Because the slowest man alive really wanted to have much of a challenge for the fastest man alive. Mazdan, I don't know who that is.
Never heard of him, yeah.
Captain Cold, Mr. Element, Dr. Alchemy.
Yeah.
Mirror
Master.
Never heard of him at all. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the deadliest foe of all? Pied Piper. So if you ever had a problem with mice, you could get the Pied Piper. Gorilla Grodd.
Yep.
Good old monkey. He's our friend. They have anything interesting about him here? He's mental powers. That's about it.
So cool.
The Weather Wizard.
Weather Wizard, yeah.
Weather Wizard. The Trickster. The Top. Oh, I missed Captain Boomerang. And then the Top. So, Michael, there's a villain who just spun things like tops. That was his power. Right.
Yep, so cool.
The Tinker. Or no, sorry, the Thinker. The Thinker. Yeah. The Fiddler and the Shade.
And the Shade, yep.
Abracadabra.
Oh, there's so much. We got to go through all these.
Now, Vandal Savage. This is a legit good villain, right? Vandal Savage.
He's great, yeah.
He's kind of like an immortal villain who lives through. Because I saw him in like one of them Justice League cartoons one time.
Yeah. So cool.
Professor Zoom.
Oh, he's the best. Yep. Eobard Thawne. Yep.
Heat Wave. He's just got a gun that shoots heat. Then we got T.O. Morrow.
Right.
T.O.
Little play on words there.
The Man Missile. Isn't that what they called you back in high school, Michael? The Man Missile?
That's right.
The ladies called you?
Precedes me. Yep.
The Breakaway Bandit. Professor Ivo. Ace and Stubble.
Never heard of them.
What? Dr. Light. Sargon the Sorcerer. Sinestro. Hey, that's an actual villain. Sinestro.
Sinestro.
Oh, it's pronounced Sinestro? I thought it was Sinestro.
So, yeah. I think it's Sinestro.
Ragdoll. We encountered Ragdoll before in the Justice League issue we did. Sabretooth. Wait a minute. This isn't the cool Sabretooth. This is a weird Sabretooth. All right. Mr. Originality. Yes. The owner of Rasmussen's House of Hair found a way to change places with other people by holding a lock of their hair and used it for a crime spree. That is Mr. Originality.
Yes.
The Electric Gang. Greta and her cohorts. All right. The Zinger Gang. A lot of gangs in Central City. Mm-hmm. Master Villain. A 13-year-old's concept of a supervillain couldn't come to life, or could it? That's just Mr. Sinister, isn't it? Wasn't that the same gimmick?
A little bit, yep. You're right.
Yeah.
Wow, I'll have to call Chris Claremont on that.
Yeah. Golden Glider. Lisa Snart. is the Golden Glider. The Molder. You think they could have put these in alphabetical order? That would have been a nice touch.
Yeah.
Black Hand.
Awesome.
The Viper. That's the last one, the Viper. Randy Orton. He comes out of nowhere and hits you with an RKO. The Viper. Come on, Michael, that's a wrestling reference. And then next page, Superman movie report. We get an update on the Superman movie. Jackie Cooper plays Perry White. How about that?
Yep. Apparently he played Skippy in Our Gang. I knew he was in that, but I didn't know who he was.
Hey, he was also in an episode of Columbo. A very good episode of Columbo. Yeah.
Really?
So, yep. He played a politician. Who was faking his own assassination to try and get, like, he killed someone, and then he tried to make it look like someone was trying to kill him, and that guy was responsible for the other killing. But Columbo caught him. Columbo caught him.
Nice.
Yep.
And then that's, what's her name? Miss Tessmacher at the bottom there.
Yeah, the actress's name is, she's Foxy. What's her name?
Yes, very Foxy. Yeah, where is it?
Valerie Perrine. Yeah. So there you go. All right, so there is Flash. We made it through 80 pages. Thank fuck. Woo! There are 80 pages. All right.
Love it. It was better than I thought it would be. Anyway. I actually found this issue. I did some research, Mike Dell, and I wanted to find the list of the best Flash stories ever told, and this was on every list, so that's why I included it.
There's no way this is on a list. No way.
It is. It is.
Well, that's embarrassing if this is on the list. Real quick, let's talk about some of the creators here. Cary Bates is the writer, and that's C-A-R-Y, Cary Bates. Born in 1948 in Pennsylvania, my neck of the woods. I don't know where in Pennsylvania, but just my state. And get this, Mike, at 13, Bates began submitting cover ideas to DC, and some were purchased and published. The first one being Superman 167 in 1964. So when he was 16, he had one published. Jeez. But how about that? He's just sending in ideas, and they're like, all right, hey, this one's not bad. We'll use this one. He started selling stories to DC when he was 17. He was a child prodigy, this Cary Bates. I didn't go through all his... like, usually they have, like, a list of stuff. And this dude did a ton of stuff. He did Adventure Comics, Superman, Superboy, all the super family of things he did.
Definitely.
You know, all them, like, Super Dog, Super Chimp, Super Ferret. He did all that stuff.
That's right.
He was also at Marvel. Now, do you know what he did at Marvel? He only did a handful of things at Marvel.
Oh, actually, no, I don't.
Interestingly enough, like pretty much everything he did, at least in this time period, he came back later and did one or two other things. He did a lot of New Universe stuff. He did like 2 issues of Night Mask, 2 issues of Spitfire and the Troubleshooters, 2 issues of Starbrand, and then he did like Spitfire, codename Spitfire when they changed the title. So yeah, how about that, Michael? Starbrand.
You know what? I have an explanation for that. What happened in '86 was DC canned their entire Superman creative team, which included Cary Bates, Elliot S. Magan, Martin Pascoe, and they ditched them all for John Byrne, right? So, because John Byrne, Marv Wolfman, and Jerry Ordway took over, and the guys who were on Superman, they basically just kicked them to the curb, and so that's probably why Cary Bates was like, okay, well, I'm going to Marvel then, and that's probably why...
Now, but here's a question. I think I don't know if this is true. I think he did like issues 9 and 10 or something of Starbrand. But didn't John Byrne come in and take over Starbrand then?
Yes. So then once John Byrne quit Superman, he came right back to Marvel and started Starbrand with number 11. Yeah, so Cary Bates is kicked to the curb again.
John Byrne is like his Gorilla Grodd. Yeah. He just always keeps coming back.
Right.
Could kill him. All right, so that's all I have on Cary Bates. Anything else about Cary Bates?
Well, he also wrote Captain Atom, the post-crisis Captain Atom, and then he did like another Captain Atom like 5 years ago, and I don't know, I think he's a pretty good writer. I like his stuff personally, but he's very, classic Bronze Age DC, so if you don't like that, you don't like it.
I would say like this is Silver Agey.
Yeah,
this
almost,
is like out of the 50s.
Yeah, he started I think in the late 60s, right? So
this is... Reading this book, it definitely feels like something written in the early 60s and not 78.
True. I'll agree with that.
So, it wasn't... I mean, if you're into that, cool. If not, wow, is this terrible. It did have a giant talking monkey, though, so it wasn't all bad. Irv Novick, one of the artists here, born in 1916 in the Bronx. Sadly, he passed away in 2004. He graduated from the National Academy of Design in New York. From 1939 to 43, he was working at MLJ Comics, which would later become Archie Comics.
Nice.
And when he was there, he worked primarily on their superhero books. Now, I've never heard of any of these people, Michael. Some of these characters were called The Shield, and he was the first patriotic superhero, even before Captain America.
I've heard of him, of course.
Bob Phantom. Have you heard of him?
Nope.
The Hangman. And Steel Sterling.
Huh. Never heard of him.
So there you go. Wasn't the Hangman, wasn't he in like Watchmen or something? Or
no, but he was... Okay, so DC had a revival of all those characters called Impact. Do you remember that?
No.
No, that was like 92 or something. So I think the Hangman might have been in there somewhere.
All right. Well, didn't the Watchmen have a character similar to that, though? Like,
yeah, he had a noose around his neck. I just don't remember what his name was. Something similar, but I don't think it was that.
All right. So Irv Novak then joined the Army in 1943. When he got out of the Army from 46 to 51, he worked in advertising, and he did some unsuccessful comic strips. Then he was hired by DC editor Robert Kanigher. Yeah, is that GH? You sure it's Kanigher? Hard G? Because the H could be silent.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, it could be wrong. I don't know.
All right, we'll go Kanigher. DC editor Robert Kanigher hired him, and Kanigher had written books that Novak drew back in the MLJ Comics days. So then at DC, Novick started on war comics, some romance, and he did The Brave and the Bold, and he returned to advertising until like a little bit after that, because he got, I guess, a good gig at some prestigious firm, until Kanigher and DC lured him back with a sweet freelancer contract. And apparently the deal they gave him was unprecedented for freelancers at the time.
Really?
Like, they gave him all kind of sweeteners to bring him back.
Interesting.
And so in 1968, he started working on titles like Batman, Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane, and The Flash.
Really?
And he did a bunch of Batman detective comics. And he did 65 issues of The Flash between 1970 and 1979.
Wow.
So Irv Novick. You don't remember him doing Batman at all?
I didn't have many of those Batman issues, but I've definitely come across them before, for sure.
Yeah. So there you go, Irv Novick.
Yep.
I thought the art here. We mentioned there are 3 or 4 different artists. I don't know. But I thought the art was really enjoyable for old school comic book art. Like, again, it's like, it feels like a 60s stuff more than 78. Like, it's not the dynamic Marvel kind of stuff, but it's still good comic book art, you know?
Right, right. Yeah.
So I enjoyed the art way more than I enjoyed the writing. But, yeah.
Yeah, the art, it's funny because he's not even, like, his art is actually really good, but Jose Luis Garcia-Lopez is better.
Yeah, he was, we've talked about him before on the show. I can't remember when.
Absolute masters. Now, what did you think of Kurt Schaffenberger?
It's fine.
Yeah. He's even more retro. He's like 50s style, if you ask me. Kurt Schaffenberger, the guy that did the Jay Garrick story. But definitely good, if you like that, for sure.
Yeah, it did kind of, that Garrick one, it did seem even older, kind of like that Dr. Midnight story we did, or Captain Midnight, or what the hell that guy's name is, Dr. Midnight, or what is he? Is he Dr. Midnight?
Dr. Midnight, yeah.
All right. All right, so there it is, Flash. We've talked long enough about this nonsense. Anything else you'd like to say about this?
It's fucking awesome. How about that?
It's very much a Silver Age book. If you're into that kind of stuff, it's fine. But 80 pages, holy fuck, it's way too long. The plot made no... Like, the Gorilla Grodd, I like that he had a little thing about after he got dispersed, like it was all his plan. I like that. But the plan is ridiculous. You know, like, come on, it's
preposterous. Absurd. But here's the thing about these classic DC plots is that, yes, they're ridiculous, but they take imagination to think of them. That's why I like them.
Yes. The best I can go here is a 4. I'll give it a 4, Michael, because it is, holy hell, is it long and it's painful. But I like the art, and it had talking monkeys, so I'll give it a 4. Yeah.
Well, by the standards of a Bronze Age DC comic that's probably intended for younger audience, I'll go with a 7 out of 10. How about that?
Holy hell. Yeah, 7 out of 10.
Maybe a 6. We'll say 6.5. That's the lowest I can go.
All right. All right. Sorry, that's enough. Thanks for that, Michael. 80 pages.
There you go. Anytime.
Yeah. I so have to find like the biggest comic book I can find.
And Good luck.
I know. I don't know.
They're out there, but I'm not going to help you find them, but I know what they are.
Right.
Anyway.
Did Marvel do stuff like this?
Kind of, but they had more like, giant size X-Men and stuff like that, so. Annuals, basically.
Right. So next week, Michael, I got one of our buddies to come back, our buddy Bob Myers, Poor Carrot. He's going to make a return appearance. And I know he's into the X-Men stuff, so we're going to do an X-Men related book. Right at the edge of the Bronze Age, 1989, Excalibur.
You're not going to believe this. That was my pick for 2 weeks from now.
What, the exact issue or just the title?
I don't know the issue, but what issue are you picking?
Excalibur 5.
Wow.
Issue 5.
You're not going to believe this. I am in the middle of reading Excalibur for the first time, and I just read number 4 today. That's crazy.
You've never read Excalibur?
I mean, scattered issues. But this is the first time I've read it all the way through, so.
I probably had like the first 20 or so, because then I kind of got out of comics.
Right.
But, yeah, so, or at least I took a break from the comics for a few years, I think. I can't remember. But anyway, this is 1989. So if you wanted to pick Excalibur, it was a limited window, only like the first couple issues we can get to. But I like issue 5 because it has Arcade, the villain Arcade.
Awesome, I love Arcade.
And of course, the writer here is Claremont, but the artist is Alan Davis, and Paul Neary is the inker.
So good, yep, so good, the art.
Yeah, and this is Claremont, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
100%.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't think this has ever happened in the history of Flea Market Fantasy that we've essentially picked the same comic almost the same week.
Well, Mike L., you are just the Canadian version of me. Because before the show, I was telling Mike L. I was having teeth issues, and he's having teeth issues.
That's right.
We're like the same person, Mike L.
Yep. Michael Paul Dell and Michael Paul L.
And I'm the Earth 2 version, because Earth 2 is cooler. But yeah.
Yeah, you can take it. I'll be Earth 1. That's fine. But anyway, okay, we want to thank you for joining us. You can follow Flea Market Fantasy on Stitcher, Spotify, and iTunes under Comic Book Syndicate. You can also follow Comic Book Syndicate on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and the Syndicate website. Each week we pick a different Bronze Age comic. 1 week Mike Dell picks, 1 week I pick. So until next Tuesday, disperse!